Happy New Year! I cannot believe we are in 2017. 2016 flew by, but I loved every bit of it. I'm so grateful for just all the opportunities I had and the people that I met. So I'm really excited and just like, to keep going. The momentum is there. So I'm excited for this year. So I just wanted to kind of share some of the lessons and areas of growth for me from 2016 with the hope that, maybe it can encourage somebody or, I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to share it, and I would love to, you to tell me or share with me some of the things that you learned or things you implemented this year. Maybe it was some different goals you had, and how those worked out for me. But I like to reflect, and I never want to get comfortable and not grow as a person. So I just kind of thought of some of the areas for me this year where I kind of looked back and I was like, hey, that was an area I really grew in, or this was something I was working towards and it worked out. So I jotted down a few of them and I kind of wanted to share. If my lighting's kind of funky, I'm trying to catch a little bit of the sunlight before it sets, but I do have on my ring light, so let me see if I can kind of adjust. I don't know if that's even necessarily better. Whatever, let's keep going. So one of the things I kind of noticed for me was that I feel like I was a lot calmer this year. Some people probably like, you calm, please. But I feel like just more of a peace. I know some years back, probably 4 or 5, I kind of just got to the point where I just was praying. I was like, I just want to have just that pure joy. And I got to the point where I had that. So that's one thing I've always been grateful for. But this year I noticed I was a lot calmer. Until you're around certain people, you don't realize how much you might be on 10. So I did realize that I'm kind of be on 10 sometimes. So I'm not calm in that sense, but calm in the sense of, when things happen, just not letting it shake me too much or get me going too crazy. So that was something that I am very grateful for. It's something I kind of realized later. I kind of had somebody say something like, yeah, you're always just so calm. And I was like, and don't really react or flip out on certain things. I do have a temper on me, or had one that was worse, and it's constantly something I have to be mindful of and work on. But I guess I pointed out the calm thing because I realized, I guess that growth has occurred and I've gotten better at it. So that was one thing that stood out to me. Another one was to be flexible. I like the saying, if you remain flexible, you can never get bent out of shape. And I learn to be flexible, or even more flexible, because like I mentioned before, me stepping away from the career of teaching, and although I did go back, I had a plan. Just like when I went into graduated from college, I had a plan. I'm gonna go do this, and it's gonna go A, B, C, like that's the order. We know life doesn't work that way, but instead of letting it get me bent out of shape, I've learned to be flexible. And that also kind of ties into another one, being open to new things or things that I maybe didn't even plan for, because I feel like if you're not, you're blocking yourself, or blocking opportunities, or you're probably you're forcing yourself to be blind to things that could be right there. So I've learned to be flexible and be more open to things that aren't necessarily how I planned. And sometimes you'll even have people who will say, well, I thought you were going to do this when you said you were going to do that. And part of me wants to be like, I don't need you to be keeping up with what I'm doing or what I said. But at the same time, I do get it, because we naturally do that. Somebody say, well, I'm gonna do this, this, and that, and it doesn't happen. But I've learned to be okay with if that doesn't, things don't pan out the way I thought they should or that they were. So flexibility different. Then just even getting into, getting more into the beauty industry, things, depending on what you're doing exactly, they can be fast paced and very different. So it's like, do I want to put the energy into being upset over something, or all upset because something didn't go, the way I thought it should? The energy could go towards something else. So just be flexible. Another is to not rush. Honey, I like being on time for stuff. I'm okay with being fashionably late to certain things, but not just being in a rush all the time. Um, some people may know or may realize or may not. I never really say it, but I kind of have a bad memory when it comes to certain things. So, but I really value and treasure things a lot. So I try to get the most out of every moment I'm with people, in every experience that I have. And I feel like if I'm rushing, I'm not able to fully get out of that experience or that time with somebody that I could have. So to me, things aren't worth rushing. It's been too many people, and we God's plan is greater than what we could ever imagine. But it's so many people that classmates, parents of students I've had, and that have passed. Either be that they may have been sick or it was unexpected, but it just really, when it's people your age and it happens, but sometimes certain ones hit you certain ways, and I just feel like you never know your time, and God's blessed me with second, third chances, so I never want to rush. I want to treasure every moment, and there's no need to rush through things or rush life or rush, and again, that ties into being flexible. Rush, where I feel like I should be in life. Everything happens in its time, even when I came out of college, didn't get a job right away in my field, but I look back and I would never change that, because I feel like the opportunities that I got once I got into my field, I wouldn't have gotten, I can't say I wouldn't have gotten it, but I appreciated it more. Same thing with, wanting to get into beauty. Everyone's like, you want to switch fields, or you got people like, yeah, it's good, but you really try to do this like for real. I wouldn't change it at all. Relationships, meeting people and developing those relationships, the timing on everything is perfect. I learned to not look at other people like, oh, well, these people have kids or they're married. I appreciate the relationships I have, and developing and growing in the timing of them. So no rushing at any area of my life. It doesn't mean drag your feet, but I've learned to not rush. And another, which I had to learn, I really value the relationships that I have with people and friendships. It's a daily prayer of mine that, God, whatever role that you have for me, that I fulfill it to your pleasing. Let me be the best daughter, sister, niece, friend, girlfriend, wife, mother. Even though I may not be in the role of some of those things yet, I pray for it now, because it just doesn't happen overnight. But I want him to be constantly working on me and developing me to be who he wants me to be. And so as a result of that, I used to take it very hard if people didn't give to me what I felt like I was giving to them, if that makes sense. I felt like, if you need this, I'm there for you, whatever. And so when I need somebody, why aren't they giving me the same? Yes, you should be mindful of that. You should never allow people to run over you or take advantage of you. But my thing was, I would take it so personally and just allow it just to really just drag me and bring me down and just change my spirit. It's like, this person's going on living their life. Why am I so down and hurt about it? But I've learned to, yes, I'm still going to have a loving and caring spirit and be there for people, but at the same time, I've learned to maybe not be as available to certain people, because you shouldn't. Yes, you could be a caring and loving person, but don't allow yourself to be taken advantage of. That's just the real of it. So I've learned to not take those things as personal. It's kind of like, okay, cool, can't do it. I feel like kind of a little bit that's messed up. I feel like, I was there for you, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna let it stop what I've got going. And again, I'm not gonna put that energy into that. So, that was another big one for me for this year. So yeah, I think that was kind of all those are just like top ones. I'm pretty sure out of 365 days there were other things that happened and lessons that I learned, but those are some top ones that kind of stood out to me that I thought of. Again, I pray that 2017 is everything imagine it to be. We don't know what the future holds, but we know who holds it. So always remember that and trust in that. Be open, be loving, be kind. We need more of that in the world that we live in. And I pray nothing but the greatest for you. Love you.